Hello and welcome. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the Zentangle Method. I want you to think of this as your own personal mini course, one that's going to give you a really clear, practical understanding of this amazing practice. And hey, if you're one of those people who's always said, "Oh, I can't draw," you're going to want to stick around. This method was pretty much designed for you.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to define what Zentangle is, and maybe more importantly, what it's not. Then we'll get into its incredible no mistakes philosophy. After that, we'll get hands-on, covering the tools and the lingo before I walk you through the entire 8-step method. We'll even break down a pattern step by step so you can see just how simple it really is. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key things you need to remember.
All right, let's dive right in. First question, what in the world is the Zentangle Method?
At its core, Zentangle is a system, a method. It was created to be a super accessible way for anyone to get that feeling of focus and calm that artists talk about. The keywords to focus on here are structured, repetitive patterns. You see, it's that very structure that makes it so simple to learn and, honestly, so meditative to do. Okay, this slide is really important because it busts a common myth. Zentangle is not doodling. You know how you doodle when you're on the phone and your mind is a million miles away? Well, Zentangle is the complete opposite of that. It's intentional, it's focused, it's like a little ceremony, where the journey of making the art is just as important, if not more important, than the final picture.
So why do it? What's the payoff? Well, those simple, repeating strokes have this amazing effect. They quiet your mind, helping to lower stress and bring a sense of clarity. You're actually training your brain to focus. And because you're not trying to draw a perfect portrait of a person or a landscape, it's this huge boost to your creative confidence. It is no joke, a mindfulness tool that is for absolutely everyone.
Now we get to what I think is the most powerful part of the Zentangle method. It's a really simple idea, but it is the absolute core of the entire practice, and honestly, it's a total game changer.
This one sentence. This is the foundation of the whole mindset. In a world where we're so often terrified of messing up, this idea is just so freeing. So, what does this actually mean when you have a pen in your hand? And maybe, just maybe, how does it apply when you put the pen down? Here's the crucial part. When you make a line you didn't plan on making, the method teaches you to react not with frustration, but with curiosity. You don't reach for an eraser. Instead, that so-called mistake becomes the starting point for a brand new idea. You build on it, you incorporate it, you let it take you somewhere you didn't expect to go. It's all about trusting the process. All right, time to get practical. To really get the method, you gotta know the language. So in this section, we're going to cover the very simple tools and the key terms that you'll hear over and over again. You know, the beauty of Zentangle is how simple it is. Now, there is an official toolkit, but you can absolutely start with whatever pen and paper you have lying around. The official kit, though, includes a small square of nice paper called a tile, a black fine-tip pen, a regular graphite pencil, and this little paper tool called a tortillon, which is just for blending.
First up, the tile. This isn't just any old piece of paper. Its size, 3.5 inches square, is totally intentional. It's small, so it's not intimidating. It makes you feel like you can actually finish a piece of art in one sitting. Plus, you can take it anywhere.
Next, we have the string. Now, this is a secret weapon against the fear of a blank page. It's just a light, random pencil line that you draw to divide your tile into sections. You can think of it like a gentle suggestion, a little roadmap for where your patterns might go. No pressure. And here it is, the core concept. The tangle. This is what you actually draw. And this is the secret sauce. You are not supposed to invent complicated patterns out of thin air. A tangle is just a pattern that's been broken down into a few simple, repeatable steps. And tangle is also a verb. It's the action of drawing the pattern. You tangle a tangle.
And just look at this. This gives you an idea of the incredible variety. Every single one of these intricate-looking designs has a name, and every one is built from a simple step-by-step recipe. It's like learning an alphabet of patterns that you can then mix and match in endless combinations.
Okay, now we're ready to put everything together. The Zentangle method isn't just about drawing, remember? It's a mindful ritual. And that ritual is broken down into 8 clear steps that guide you from that blank little tile to a finished piece of art.
It all begins with the setup, and it's all done in pencil. First, you take a breath and a moment of gratitude. Next, you put 4 simple dots in the corners. Boom. The blank page isn't so scary anymore. Then you connect those dots to make a border, and finally you draw your string. And just like that, you've created this safe, contained little world to start your work.
Now, the final 4 steps are where the magic really happens. Step 5, You pick up your pen and you start to tangle, focusing on just one single stroke at a time. Step 6, you go back to your pencil to add shading, which brings all this amazing depth and drama. Step 7 is about ownership. You put your initial on the front and sign the back. And finally, step 8, which is just as important as all the others. You take a moment to just appreciate what you made. And here you can see that whole journey in a single image. It really shows how you go from those simple, no-pressure pencil marks to the committed ink of the tangles, and then finally to the depth and contrast of the finished piece. It's such a clear, elegant, and really satisfying process.
So you might be looking at these complex patterns and thinking, how is that easy? Well, let's pull back the curtain. The secret is that every single tangle, no matter how wild it looks, is built from just a handful of foundational strokes.
This is it. This is the entire DNA of Zentangle art. Just 5 simple strokes: a dot, a line, a C-curve, an S-curve, and a circle. The founders of the method say it best. If you can write your own name, you can make these strokes. And if you can do that, you already have every single skill you need to create any tangle pattern out there. Let's see this in action with a really simple, elegant tangle called printemps. Okay, step 1, you draw a little spiral. Step 2, you draw another one right next to it. Step 3, you just keep doing that over and over, filling in the space. And for a little extra pop, you can fill in those tiny gaps between the spirals. And that's it. From one simple repeated motion, you get this beautiful, organic-looking texture. It really is that easy. All right, we have covered a ton of ground here, from the big ideas to the nitty-gritty steps. So let's bring it all home and boil it down to the most important things to remember.
If you only take 3 things away from this, let it be these. Number 1, Zentangle is all about the mindful process, not the final product. Number 2, there are no mistakes, just opportunities. That idea alone can free you from the fear of even starting. And number 3, anyone can do this. I mean it, because every complex pattern is just built from those 5 simple strokes you already know how to make.
And that brings us to our final thought. The Zentangle method really teaches us a new way to look at the marks we make on paper. So I'll leave you with this question. If we can learn to see an unexpected line not as a failure, but as an invitation to create something new and beautiful, well, what mistakes in our own lives could we start to see the exact same way?